Hello, Gemini. Thank you so much, as always, you guys, for being here. Okay, Gemini, so looking at your third week of November, you pulled Ancient, Purity, and Peaceful Among Thorns. This to me immediately said stopping ancestral trauma in its tracks. Ancient is about knowing yourself better through family connections. So, and this very much can show you the type of repetitive patterns that your family members or your ancestors have been through. It's like we've repeated this lesson so many times that it's time for there to be closure on it now. And I think that that's kind of where you're coming from. But this could also be a family connection that has to do with spirituality. That in turn helps you to clear up any garbage that you may have been like holding on to. Very specifically though, because of the material world. So, purity, I just want to read a part of this because it connects so well with Peaceful Among Thorns. It says, by clearing away debris on any level, you make way for newness, clarity, and more favorable influences to enter. It says, your thoughts are living things. Beware of the quality of your observations, as they can raise your vibration and ease forward movement. And then it talks about how meditation may be helpful, which I love that the connection was there. So when you look at that with Ancient, for me, this is a spiritual ancestral connection that helps you transcend the effects of the material world that may have been causing this kind of like gunkiness to build up within you, right? So Peaceful Among Thorns, it says the spiritual can't solve the material, but it can transcend it. And then the sentence says, coexistence of the material and the spiritual is the human way to enlightenment. It's basically saying that spirituality is not the answer to everything. If you're experiencing issues, you don't go, okay, well, I'm going to be spiritual about it, and then that's it. It talks about how the spiritual gives more depth to the solutions that you find. So, using spirituality in a very different way where you may be able to stop repetitive patterns that have clogged up the family line, so to speak. But something about family connections is going to make you understand yourself a little bit better, I think, on a spiritual level. And Peaceful Among Thorns, and then looking at purity, it's the garbage that, gets programmed into you because of the material world. And I think for some of you, you're looking for that depth. And not only that, but, finding better solutions to any kind of issues that you've been facing that may have, opened the door for you to kind of understand yourself a little bit better and how it connects to other family members, ancestors, things like that. All right, Gemini. Your overall, the Page of Wands. This is the page that I like to see. And I say that because I had another run-in with the fucking Page of Swords, but the Page of Wands being your overall. This is exciting news. This is optimism about taking advantage of a new opportunity. This is the communication that you want to hear. So some of you may be getting some exciting news that may lead you down a path that you haven't experienced yet. But this is exciting. It's something new, right? In the past, the Knight of Wands. Okay, so now if we're talking about taking a path or a road that you haven't been down before, when you look at the Knight of Wands as your past and what you did before, there very much may have been this like being attracted to things that do not last in your life. The Knight of Wands is not about, it's not about longevity. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why there's this very much this kind of like in and out nature. Now, it may be that in the past you were just kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and have this adventure, have this experience with this person, get swept up in the passion, and it's not that big of a deal. But this could also be communication coming through that may reignite that within you. And it may be, something from the past that attracted your attention. This is acting with passion, right? Oh boy. All right. In the present, the Seven of Swords. And, you know, this is kind of what I'm talking about when that feeling kind of like came over me of, you know, we weren't really paying attention to the long term, or, you know, what that would mean in the future if, you know, you're acting from that place of passion, or, you know, if this is somebody coming through that's trying to sweep you off your feet. Right? The Seven of Swords, this is like, okay, so I'm clearly not paying attention to what the intentions are. This is deceit. You know, and I want to see what's going on here, but this is something that you may be becoming aware of now based on, you know, something that you may have gotten carried away with before, or somebody that, you know, kind of entices that within you. But something isn't being made clear here, you know. It's sneaky, low down, dirty shit. I don't like the Seven of Swords. Now, and the thing is if we're talking about exciting, open communication, I don't think that this is about you not talking about what your plans are. I think that this is you becoming aware of in the present moment of someone else's intentions that may have gotten you carried away. And there may be something new that kind of comes through and opens the door for you to take a different path, a different experience. You know, because this right here, right, like, you wouldn't be getting carried away with a person or a situation if you knew that it was going to be taking something from you, right? Or if somebody was planning on not following through, or, you know, being deceitful, right? Future conditions, the Ten of Cups, you know, and then coming out of the Seven of Swords, it really is a question about, what does your happily ever after look like? It's certainly not the Seven of Swords. You know, nobody wants to have to deal with that kind of deception. And this may be, you know, this understanding and awareness of someone else's behavior that gets you caught up, and you kind of going, you know, but that for the long term is not what's going to make me happy. But I want to focus on what will. And that may open the door to something new that you haven't experienced coming through. You know, I mean, the Page of Wands is the overall, absolutely can be about this immature energy, but I'm looking at where you already came from and where it's leading you into the present moment. And then this feeling of the Ten of Cups, I think that this is something different. The pages always want to take advantage of that opportunity. Sorry, guys. So I feel like this is you, because it's based on your overall happiness. You know, and just that shift in focus, I think is what brings this through for you. Your best path to follow. Listen, right? Like, let me just give you the truth of how your actions have affected me. You know, the warning here would be, don't act too abruptly. But this is, you know, if there is clarity on what is happening in the present moment based on, you know, somebody else not really thinking about the future, then this would be you needing to speak up. These are the words that cut, right? The words that can cause pain, but it's truth, and it's abrupt. And it may be that you need to take action and to say something and then be done with it, is what I feel like. Say what you need to say and then move on. And again, and that's because of the Page of Wands being your overall here. In order for you to take a different path, to take advantage of a different opportunity, you cannot continue to be swept up by people and situations that you end up finding out later are, you know, deceitful, dishonest, right? But this very strongly has the feeling of just say what you need to say and then shut the door on it. But don't look for excuses to continue to be involved in a situation for the long term, because this may affect that overall happiness, right? But I really think that it's because of this, Your simple shift in focus. And again, going back to the oracle cards, right? Clearing out the garbage and purity of thought. It's like the universe immediately responds, and there you go. Okay, in your environment, the Hermit, and again, right, the shift of focus. This is going inward, and it's asking the question, is this where I saw myself before I started all of this? It's looking at where you're at compared to where you wanted to be. But it's the inward reflection, I think, that may be helping you to kind of shift the focus, cut out the deceptive people. Now, the Seven of Swords, though, with the Hermit, I think that if you have known about this for some time, you may have been sitting with it. And that may be where this, kind of feeling of just say what you need to say and close the door. But this is the inward reflection. This is big time, right? Like, I see now how I've been caught up in this and have had my passion ignited, and how the intentions are not clear, they're not honest. And this may, again, have to do with another person, but this is really about you reflecting on, is this what your happily ever after looks like? And based on these two, I would say no. Man, oh man, okay. So your hopes and your fears, the Three of Wands, and I'm looking at, and I'm telling you, this very simply is about you needing to look at things differently in your life. If you are continuously looking at things like, I'm getting swept up with these people and situations that just end up hurting me in the long run, then this clearly is not what I want to have in my life, not where I see myself being in the long term when it comes to my happiness, my home life, all of that, right? The Three of Wands, there's something else. There is something else that has the opportunity to come to you. This is the active waiting, but it's based on the actions that you have taken that creates this kind of like receiving, right? So this is watching the ships kind of coming in. But you should already know what to expect with the Three of Wands. But I also look at this and think there is another pathway that may be open to you. But a shift in awareness, I think, is what's going to be the important thing to kind of open up the door for this opportunity. And I'm telling you right now, as soon as that is made available to you, take it. Take that chance. Take that opportunity. Because again, it is a road that you haven't been down before, which will move you away from all of this. But you may have done something that may be opening the door for some kind of support to come through, that may lead you down a completely different path, and this may be what you're hoping for. And with the Page of Wands, I'd say absolutely that communication's coming through. And then coming out the Star, I'm loving the fact that I'm seeing this card. It's showing me so many different things, but this is healing, having hope returned. And not just that, but getting away from the deception that you may have been continuously getting swept up in. People who don't know where the hell they're going, right? But you can see what your happily ever after looks like. It may have taken you a minute and a couple of experiences to get there. But looking at the Star coming out, all of that is going to be healed. There's going to be hope returned because of this communication coming through with the Page of Wands. Do not hesitate to take this, because you opened the door for this to happen. Something you did is opening the doorway for a completely different opportunity where you can get away from this. And again, a simple shift in focus. But the Star coming out on this is huge, huge. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Coins. The Two of Wands, the decision to act, right? And then you have the Hierophant coming out. Okay, sorry guys. The Ace of Pentacles, we're talking about something long-term and realistic and practical and secure. This may be a different opportunity in terms of the way that you're making money, where you may have been caught up in situations where it's like everybody is just a fake liar, right? But I really think that this has to do with, your passion being ignited possibly by certain types of people, you being swept up in it, being deceived, having to kind of go inward and see where that pattern has been replaying and how it's so different than where you wanted it to be. And it's attached to this overall happiness. But this is a beautiful new beginning that I feel like is being brought back to you, right? And there's this like redirection of the action that you take. And then looking at the Two of Wands, right? It's really, for me, about the decision to act that may be opening the door here for something to come through that you've been hoping for or waiting for. But this could also be being at that kind of crossroads, right? It's up to you to make the decision to act, to get rid of these kinds of things out of your life, these kinds of people, dishonest situations. But it leads to the Hierophant in this deep spiritual understanding. And I'm looking at this. It's such a beautiful balance between what is going on in the material world and how you can use spirituality to find the solutions that you need. It's not the answer to it, but it can help you get clarity and understanding, right? Now, this, I think, though, too, with the Star and looking at the Ten of Cups, is you making a better commitment to yourself through the spiritual understanding and awareness that you get through the Hierophant with all of the difficulties that you've been through. But this Ace of Pentacles is going to be coming in. This is an opportunity you don't want to hesitate on. And it's coming in the form of healing and having hope returned, especially when it comes to your home, your happiness, your well-being. But the decision to act is based on your spiritual understanding and awareness of who you are, what you have been influenced by, and possibly looking at the connections through family line and breaking that, right? But a beautiful way to come out. I don't feel bad about that Page of Wands. This is the communication you want to hear. It's finally getting a breakthrough, I feel like, in a situation that has really disrupted what may be going on within your home and, again, your overall happiness. Allow it to happen, right? Play. And then you have two here. Trust. And then celebration. So allowing the universe to bring in the things that you're actually wanting instead of focusing on, the deceptive situations that you've dealt with, but allowing yourself some time to enjoy a little bit of life and trust that the universe is working for you and it leading to a place of celebration. That's beautiful to see. I like it. I just don't like the Seven of Swords and Hermit feeling. Prosperity lies ahead. Perfect. And then emotions are running high. And that's understandable too when you're dealing with a situation like the Seven of Swords. When you realize that you've been lied to or deceived, right? It's easy to allow your emotions to kind of get out of hand or, allow them to take control of a situation that isn't beneficial to you. But if prosperity is coming through with the Star and the Ace of Pentacles, this may be the higher vibration that you were looking for, right? Your spiritual connection to what you are dealing with in the material is going to give you the answers that you need right now. An inward reflection and a change of perspective on what your overall happiness looks like, I am telling you, it is going to open the door to you getting this kind of communication that you have been waiting for, that is going to bring excitement, hope, and healing back into your life. It's a beautiful thing. For those of you who are dealing with this, it's so important. Say what you need to say, close the door on it. And don't hesitate to take advantage of this opportunity coming through, because you set it in motion. And it's the universe giving you exactly what you need to make the situation better.